What is going on, everyone? Anthony Maslone here, and in today's video, we're going to be following exactly what the headline is right here in this Google Doc for us to take notes and follow along. I'm going to be showing you guys 5 simple steps that literally anyone can go out there and follow and get started with Shopify and go from $0 to $1,000 and even beyond per day in sales. So let's go ahead and dive right into the training, and be sure to go ahead and subscribe and smash that like button if you learned something new or take value away from this video. Looking to provide the most value as possible through this very channel and staying more consistent with this YouTube content to help you guys on the daily. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started and dive into this right now. And that is going to be with step number 1 in finding your way to succeed in Shopify. And simply, it's kind of cliche in some way, shape, or form, but it's also very true, which is finding potential, okay? Now, let me tell you how to find potential and the different facets of this very business that you can find potential in. Now, this isn't, trying to create the next extraordinary product or something that you're going to patent or something that's never been seen before. I'm talking about finding potential that you can capitalize on by just getting a piece of the pie in e-commerce and selling different products online. So this could be in a bunch of different ways, so such as, hopping on a trend for a product that is brand new and coming out and you see it's selling like hotcakes, all right? Or if you see someone that is, maybe doing $10,000 or $20,000 a month and you read their ads and you say, well, shit, their ad copy is absolutely awful. I could totally make way more sales and do this 10 times better than they are right now because they found a nice market, a nice product, and a nice niche to go ahead and dive into. Or for another example, if you have a select group of influencers at your disposal that you can have access to, and you could utilize them to go ahead and start running huge brand awareness campaigns in no time, then that's a very good potential market for you to go ahead and dominate. So let me go ahead and take some notes for you guys right here. So this could be, finding specific influencers, so finding a good group of influencers. Of course, finding a great product. And going off of that, you could literally reverse engineer what someone else is doing right now. So it's not like you have to go ahead and be the leader in a specific market for, being the person that sells, the most candles per day online and across the entire internet. Just taking a piece of that pie and maybe doing a little better marketing or saying, you know what, I could do better Instagram content than this company that's already making a killing. So you could see that there's a higher ceiling for a specific market or a specific product or a specific niche, whatever it may be. So you're going to want to go ahead and find something that you can go ahead and reverse engineer. And you want to start all the way from, the end goal and then go all the way towards creating that and bringing all of that to fruition. So with that, reverse engineering is a great way to do it. So just literally not, I'd say, copying or, borrowing ideas from, but, you could put your own twist on specific things. Or maybe you can even find something that's succeeding right now, such as a trending product, and run it inside of your niche in specific. So, for example, there was a specific point in time where there were LED dog collars that were absolutely killing, and I'd imagine that there are still people making, a good amount of sales off of it, but this product was one of the hottest out there at this very specific time. Now, that dog collar could literally go on any dog. But let's say if you had a pug store, for example, you could go ahead and make it just for people that, have pugs or are buying products for pugs. It doesn't have to be sold to the masses. You could find a product and focus it on your specific niche and cater to your market in specific. So you can find a good group of influencers, you can find a great product and reverse engineer it, and you can go ahead and improve on their ad copy. So if you see that there's a lack of something, so a lack of, good advertising, and that could be, good ad copy or, or good Instagram content strategy, something that you could absolutely crush it with. So if you know that there's a bunch of stuff that you can go ahead and start reposting and you could take pictures yourself with absolute ease and post daily content that could literally go viral, then you can go ahead and dive into that. So finding potential is a very cliche, but also a very realistic way to go ahead and get started. And that's the first step that I really advocate to my students, is finding potential in the market. So it could be a great product, something that, people are already doing a great job and not doing it to its fullest potential, or, finding something that you can go ahead and capitalize on to its fullest potential, such as influencers or a easily targetable audience on Facebook. Let's say you're in the outdoors or fishing niche and you know that there are 10 to 15 different fishing magazines that people are paying $10 a month for to subscribe to. You know that they have that buyer's intent, that if you target them with something that they're passionate about, you can go ahead and make great sales off of that as well. So literally getting your piece of the pie, finding where you can go ahead and get your piece of the pie. And after finding that potential, something that I really like to do is I like to set benchmarks or goals pretty much. And I literally do this on a daily basis. I kid you not. So like I literally have this notebook here that I've had for the past year that I've written it every single day for my daily goals. So whether it's like literally saying, all right, so today I'm going to go ahead and focus on creating 3 new ad sets for my latest campaign for my new product, or I'm going to find 5 products that I'm going to test over the next 2 days, or creating 5 different audiences that I can target my latest collection to. Stuff along those lines that you can go ahead and set attainable goals where they're kind of a little bit more bite-sized and saying, you know, I'm going to do $20,000 in my first month of business. It's literally taking baby steps and working off of that and setting consistent goals over a reasonable period of time, all right? So setting benchmarks and goals, so this could be just writing notes for you guys down. So creating X amount of ads in Y amount of days, finding new audiences to target. This could also be, you know, finding 50 influencers in 1 week that you want to reach out to. So stuff like that where you could literally work off of that and turn those, you know, objectives into reaching your higher end goals and more long-term visions. So setting benchmarks is literally one of the most important things that I've done in every facet of my business. Whether I'm starting a new store, I'm creating a new app, starting a brand new company as a whole, literally setting specific goals and, you know, maybe weekly benchmarks and sort of a quota to make those things a little bit more attainable and realistic, where it's a step-by-step process and something that I write down and I feel accomplished. I can literally just go ahead and cross out at the end of the day. It's one of the most effective things that I've ever done as a business owner, all right? And then after that, after finding those benchmarks and, you know, setting that and actually taking action more so than anything else, when you set these benchmarks and goals, you want to take action on that. And once you do, you want to start scaling up, all right? And how do you scale up a store? Now, I've gotten this question a ton of times from my students. How do I scale up my store? Or, you know, how do I get 50 visitors per day and turn that into 100 visitors per day? And this is simply going to be taking a different initiative and different approach on your advertising. So let's say you start out with Instagram influencers or organic traffic through Instagram or Facebook blogs, whatever it may be. You have that base of traffic that you've worked off of, whether you've used the techniques I've taught in my previous videos or in my courses, whatever it may be, and you have that foundation that you've pieced together. How do I take it to the next level, all right? One of the favorite things that I like to do is I like to create a custom audience based on specific actions or, you know, levels of interest that people have taken. So this could literally be on, you know, if you were running a video ad for a minute long, such as video viewers, if they've watched over 50 or 75% of my video ad, I'm going to go ahead and retarget them with a sale for that same product that they went ahead and spent that time learning about or watching a video about. Whether it's a tutorial on how to use a specific product that I'm selling, I want to go ahead and retarget them if they didn't actually go ahead and make that purchase. I want to hit them with a good offer that is compelling to them, that they cannot refuse with a well-written out ad and still something as simple as a still image for them to go ahead and actually close that sale on. So creating custom audiences. So you can do that based on video viewers, site visitors, and you can even do that even on specific products or pages. So if you want to go ahead and retarget people that only viewed a specific product, you could do that simply by creating a custom audience of people who have, you know, visited X, Y, and Z pages. So even specific products or pages. And then lastly, after that, you want to go ahead and after you have that, you know, initial, I guess you could say, intent, whether it's a buyer's intent or if they showed interest in clicking on one of your ads or seeing one of your pages, clicking through, going to your website, maybe opening an email, whatever it may be, then you collect at least 500 of those, whether it's, you know, data in Facebook or email addresses, and you go ahead and create a lookalike audience, all right? So creating lookalike audiences is where Facebook's algorithm actually does a lot of the legwork for you and finds people who are just like those that you had input. And the more people that you input into Facebook to collect this data and build out that lookalike audience, the better lookalike audience you're going to have. So you could take people who have even gone ahead and abandoned cart on your store, get all of the people who have abandoned cart, whether it's a specific product or all of your products, and you throw them into a custom audience and create a lookalike audience with that, and then go ahead and intersect that with one of your good interests that you're running successful ads to, or maybe a specific demographic. Whatever you want to go ahead and test is a great way to do it. And that even goes back, goes forward to our next goal and our next step in scaling up a store, which is testing, all right? And I've stressed about this a lot within my previous videos on how important it is to test, and sometimes it does take a little bit of time to actually get yourself off the ground and get the ball rolling with testing products with your Shopify store, your e-commerce business in general. So typically what it comes down to with testing is that there are a lot of variables that come into play when you're trying to sell a product online, and how you're going to actually get people to gauge interest and actually get them to take action, click for your advertisement, and then after they go ahead and go through your advertisement, get onto your store, they're faced with another obstacle, which is, figuring out if they actually want to buy that product. So what you're literally trying to accomplish is a series of micro commitments from this prospect that you've went ahead and encountered with, and you want to get them to make that big commitment, which is making a purchase on your store. Okay? And with that, it's going to be a lot of variables that come into play to make sure that, it's going off their checklist. All right, this is a good headline that got my attention. I'm going to go ahead and click through this ad and figure out what they're actually showing me. All right, this is a good product description. Wow, I really need this. This hit one of my needs or a pain point. Wow, this is a 1-year guarantee. That's something I've been looking for. Other products that I've bought in the past never have a guarantee, and they always break on me. And getting them all the way through to, making that full purchase is going to take a lot of variables to come into play that are going to work properly. So you have to test all of these different things. So this could literally be, your ad headlines, all right? Maybe even your ad visuals, your product descriptions, your pricing, shipping costs. Maybe a free shipping coupon is something that's going to take people over the edge and get them off the fence and actually make that purchase on your store. And testing all of this, or even your audiences that you're targeting on Facebook with your ads, or your Instagram influencers, and testing all of this is what's going to make you break through and find out what works for you best. And then once you've done that, you can simply double down on what's working for you and your store and your brand and everything that you're selling, and then you could go ahead and keep scaling. So testing is one of the most important things, and quite frankly, this is before you're scaling up in step 3. And it's what you really have to focus on to make sure that you know what you're going to be doing for the long haul and what you're going to be scaling up. So as a matter of fact, I did this backwards. Testing is supposed to come before scaling up. So sorry about that, guys. Just do a little flip on that. And then lastly, the one final step that we're going to go ahead and do to make sure that we're going from $0 to $1,000 per day with your store online is incorporating one last facet, another touch point to your marketing, which is going to be email marketing, all right? And email marketing is extremely pivotal for any store and any online business because, quite frankly, this is the way that you're going to go ahead and re-obtain lost sales, whether it's people abandoning cart, or, they just went ahead and they viewed your product, but you've got their information. And you could go ahead and hit them with a promotion or something that's going to get them off the fence or bring them back. Maybe they didn't have time to complete the purchase. You want to go ahead and reach out to them another time to make sure, hey, are you sure you want to get this before we sell out? Because the clock's ticking. Ways that you can go ahead and get more touch points to your marketing rather than your Facebook ads, rather than organic traffic, rather than Instagram influencers. This is the last touch point that you want to go ahead and add to make sure, on top of retargeting ads, that you're re-obtaining as many sales as possible and capitalizing on your customers and prospects that are already familiar with you or have heard of your brand. So you can literally run, win-back campaigns for people who are refunding products. So win-back campaigns are pretty much like saying, hey, we're sorry about, maybe this wasn't the right size or the right variant or the right product for you. Here's 25% off. Sorry for the inconvenience. Feel free to come shop with us again. Winning back those customers that, might have a little bit of spite towards you because you didn't send them the right product or you did something wrong. Maybe you dropped the ball as a store owner. That happens. But what you want to do is capitalize on those people who have come into your store and you've made that sale with and who have already trusted you enough to purchase one product from you, and you want to win them back to get more sales. Another thing that you can go ahead and do is post-purchase emails. And this is huge for going ahead and increasing LTV, all right? So lifetime value of your customers. If you're not doing this, you're literally leaving tons of money on the table. And what I mean by that is that, simply put, if you know that someone went onto your store to go ahead and buy a skateboard, for example, from your store, you know that they're going to need a set of wheels or maybe a helmet or maybe some apparel that goes with your brand. This could be products that are supplementary or complementary with the first product that they interacted with. And you already know way more than anyone else about that very person just by knowing what they purchased or what product they viewed. Literally knowing exactly what was in their cart and what they are willing to open up their wallets and spend money on is one of the most valuable things that anyone could have as a marketer. And that's what you have with your buyers, and you could do this and capitalize on it through a post-purchase process. And post-purchase processes are super easy to set up within an app such as MailFunnels. MailFunnels is my go-to app, and I'll drop a link for a 14-day free trial in the description right now, so you guys can go ahead and access that whenever, and you can create all of these campaigns right now. And then lastly, the most obvious one is abandoned cart campaigns, all right? So literally automatically having a dynamic email, it's going to say, hey, you forgot this product at this price, and we only have this many left in stock. Be sure to get yours now before the clock runs out or before we're out of stock. Or you could even go ahead and throw an incentive in there saying, if you order yours before the end of the day, we'll give you 25% off with this very coupon. Stuff along those lines is what's going to maximize your revenue. And when you're maximizing your revenue, you have the power to go ahead and be more aggressive with your advertising costs and your ad spend. So if you know that you could break even on the front end, if you know your product costs $5, it costs you $2.50 to acquire that customer, and you're selling it for $7.50, but you have the right emails that are following up in the back end, and 30% of the time people are going to go ahead and purchase the next product, which is a $30 product with a $25 profit margin, you have no problem going ahead and breaking even on the front end because you know your numbers and you know that you're going to earn more on the back end after the fact. And you could beat your competitors by spending more money on advertising and being more aggressive with your ad spend because they're not going to be able to spend as much as you because they don't have these back-end processes going with email marketing, all right? So if you guys want to see some more tutorials on anything in specific that we went over in this very video, drop a comment down below and let me know exactly what you're thinking. If you guys want that free trial, simply go to mailfunnels.com, all right? And you can go ahead and start utilizing email marketing for 100% free. And it's something that you can go ahead and do and have set up within a matter of minutes because we even give you done for you email templates within that very app. So without any further ado, this is Anthony Massillone signing off on this video. I look forward to seeing you guys inside of MailFunnels and inside of my next video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you learned something new or if you want to see more content from this very channel because you know that we're going to be dropping more value bombs, more so than any other channel out there on YouTube. So drop a comment if you learned something new, and thank you so much for tuning in. This is Anthony Massillone signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next video.